Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to discuss about 10th standard chemistry and physics, unit 12, carbon and its compound, series number 18 is going to be discussed, right? In the earlier one, we already gone through what is homologous series, what is meant by allotropy of the carbon, what are the chemical properties of the carbon compounds, and what is meant by what we can say functional groups are present in the given compound, what is isomerism of carbon, what's the valency of the carbon atom. All these topics are exclusively discussed in the channel called the World of Competitive Chemistry. In addition to all these, we completed unit 1 to Unit 1 to Unit 11, entire detailed explanation available on the channel called the World of Competitive Chemistry. Now we are going to discuss about few chemical properties which are relevant with these carbon and its related compounds. And in the earlier session, we completed detailed regulations of IUPAC in order to name the millions of organic compounds. By using these strategic protocols, it is possible to identify which compound belongs to which name. So in that way, we completed. Now we are going to discuss about what are the chemical properties of what kind of chemical reactions are possible for these organic compounds. So here, basically organic compounds are so many. So because of catenation nature of carbon and it able to give the compounds of hydrogen, compounds of oxygen, compounds of nitrogen, compounds of sulfur, phosphorus. So many kind of combinations are available and millions of compounds, and the new research is going on every day. So new organic compounds are adding to the research platform on every daily basis. But still, the possible chemical reactions of these organic compounds are mainly categorized into only 4 types. So these are primary kind of organic reactions possible. So whatever the chemical compound, these are the possible reactions available for these organic compounds. One is called combustion. Combustion is nothing but when we are burning the compound in the presence of oxygen, that is said to be a combustion that used to give the huge amount of heat energy, and that can be utilized in so many ways. The fuels what we are using will participate in this combustion process, and that is a kind of chemical reaction by these organic compounds. And second is about oxidation reaction, where the compound of carbon is treated with any oxidizing agent like a strong oxidizing agent like a potassium dichromate, potassium permanganate, or else we may go through in either mild oxidizing agents also like nitric acid. In that manner also oxidation reactions are possible. Consequently, those get oxidized and oxidized product will be obtained. This is a kind of oxidation or addition of oxygen or removal of electrons is said to be a oxidation reaction. And next is about addition reaction. Addition is said to be whenever any unsaturated compound pertaining double bond or triple bond, so that it will be added with hydrogen, that double bond or triple bond now in turn converted into a single bonded compound. This is a kind of system where addition of reagents are possible without any elimination of the byproduct. Those are said to be addition reactions. And next is about substitution. So already existing functional group get replaced with any other new coming one so that it gets substituted. So in this manner, we can categorize all the possible chemical reactions of organic compounds into these main 4 classes. So let us move on with the one upon another. So here combustion reaction. Combustion stands for what? Carbon and its related compound burns in the presence of oxygen. Combustion said to be burning in the presence of oxygen or air to gives rise to carbon dioxide, because carbon upon combustion, upon burning, it in turn converted into a carbon dioxide along with this large amount of heat and light energy will be emitted. This is the process of combustion. Burning in the presence of oxygen. Here, the simplified representation is provided for quick understanding, where we are supplying the fuel as well as air, so that fuel will be combusted, fuel will be burned, fired, so that here byproducts like a carbon dioxide from the carbon, if any hydrogens are there, get converted into a water, and a lot of heat energy will be appeared over here. This is the kind of combustion. The process of burning carbon or carbon compounds in the excess of oxygen gives rise to a heat and light is said to be a combustion reaction. The reaction of carbon maximum oxidation will be +4, because carbon being it is tetravalent in nature, it able to exhibit maximum of plus for oxidation state, and here carbon dioxide where oxygen is pertaining -2, so that here 2 oxygens 2 -2, so that here carbon will associated with the plus for oxidation state during this combustion reaction. Next is about examples with reference to this combustion. During combustion, we are adding oxygen, so that if pure carbon like a coal was taken and subjected to burning, so that oxygen will be reacted with carbon. Consequently, carbon dioxide gas evolved along with a huge amount of energy that is said to be a thermal energy. This is a source of thermal electrical power generation. And next is about ethane. This is a kind of hydrocarbon. When you go with the natural gas, it is the fraction present in this ethane moiety. So that when this natural gas subjected to combustion, burning in the presence of oxygen, so consequently here also we will obtain carbon dioxide gas emission along with the release of water and a huge amount of heat energy. So this energy can be used to drive the vehicle, or else in industrial purpose to run the machinery and the steam generation, and even domestic purpose we can utilize for the cooking purpose and so many others. So in this manner, this is also the kind of combustion, because we are burning this hydrocarbon in the presence of oxygen, so that here heat energy will be evolved. In either, we are taking ethanol. This is a kind of hydroxy compound. Upon treating with oxygen and burning, what happens? This ethanol, carbons totally converted into carbon dioxide, hydrogens they will be transformed into water. Along with this, we will obtain the huge amount of energy as well. In this manner, combustion gives rise to a huge amount of energy in the form of heat or else light, that can be utilized in so many domestic or else, otherwise industrial applications. And generally, saturated hydrocarbons burn with a clear light blue color flame. So that's the reason why, if you notice burning of LPG gas at our home, which is composed of butane, propane, isobutane, being all these are the hydrocarbons and saturated in nature, hence you can notice it is a blue color flame. Right. So whenever hydrocarbons are in the unsaturated form, unsaturation is nothing but either double or triple bonded is associated with them. So in that case, the burning flame will be appeared in the form of golden yellow color. So here, this is a kind of system where flame color depends upon the type of structure with the hydrocarbon is associated with. If all are saturated bonds, so you will obtain a blue color flame. If it is either double or triple bonded compound of hydrocarbon, you will get a yellow color flame here during the combustion process. And moreover, coal and petroleum, these are the kind of fossil fuels. Fossils are nothing but these are the living organisms which are present in the millions years ago, and they get buried into the earth crust. Plants and dead animals get buried and they transformed into a fuel and got generated from the fossils, hence fossil fuels, all these. And burning upon these kind of compounds, carbon get transformed into carbon dioxide. Petroleum products, being all these are hydrocarbons in nature, there is a production of carbon dioxide and water are possible. Right. So here coal combustion is provided for your reference. Combustion of coal gives rise to a thermal energy. This is the kind of source for the thermal electricity. And next is about any other characteristic. It's during the identification of organic compounds in the laboratory, it is a kind of characteristic identification test. By using this simple flame test, it is possible to identify whether the compound is aromatic or aliphatic in nature based on this flame test, because any aromatic compound was subjected to taken onto the spatula and subjected to heating. So that used to give very high intense sooty flame will be appeared. So this sooty flame is purely because of lot of carbon atoms are accompanied by these aromatic compound. That's the reason by while combustion, huge amount of carbon dioxide along with some uncombusted carbon will be evolved during this burning process. So that here sooty flame generation is the characteristic property of all the organic compounds. If you are getting such a kind of suit over the flame, so you can clearly identify the given compound is aromatic in nature. It's the simplest test in order to identify whether the compound is aromatic or aliphatic. So this is a kind of system where lot many number of carbons are there. All these are consolidated into these aromatic compound. That's the reason why while burning, that used to give the sooty flame over, so that you can clearly identify this is the kind of aromatic system. Now, so here we have one question. So this is a question for thinking, logical thinking. So while cooking in your kitchen, why do sometimes cooking vessels get blackened on gas or kerosene stuff? What could be the reason for this? That one. Here, as we are aware that carbon is made up of carbon is a kind of black color pigment it is, right? So here, whenever any kind of fuel, for example, we are cooking on the LPG stove, so that is subjected to combustion. So in that hydrocarbons are there, hydrocarbon should be completely combusted and the carbon transformed into carbon dioxide, hydrogen transformed into water. So whenever carbon dioxide is there, that is a colorless gas and that will be escaped into the atmosphere. That's a natural process actually we can notice. But under some circumstances, you can notice that around this utensil, some black color stains will be obtained. That is purely because of uncombusted carbon get over deposited on this. That is a kind of mist. That is a kind of carbon particles which deposited over this kind of utensil. That purely because of incomplete combustion. That is not subjected to complete combustion. If it is combusted, that will be carbon dioxide. That is a colorless gas. But during the combustion process, if oxygen is not sufficiently available, ignition is not continuously possible, that is not continuously propagated. In that instance, there is a possibility of deposition of black color layer in the surface of utensil purely because of uncombusted matter, uncombusted carbon deposited. Carbon is a black color pigment, hence you can notice black color over that utensil. And next is about a combustion reaction is generally defined as any reaction sustains a flame. So during the combustion, the compulsory condition is flame evolving while burning process is possible. It usually involves burning with oxygen, though some exceptions are there. Combustion reaction is always exothermic. During the combustion process, always heat or light will be evolved. Hence, we can say it is a kind of exothermic reaction. So I'm taking simplistic example. Wood is a fuel of natural origin and subjected to burning, so that heat evolved outside, heat evolved into the atmosphere, so that we can say it is a kind of exothermic. Heat released in the reaction called exothermic, heat absorbed within the reaction called endothermic in nature. So being combustion always used to evolve the heat and light outside, hence you can say it is a kind of exothermic reaction and energy liberated during the combustion of any kind of fuel. Now, this we exclusively discussed about combustion reactions and most of the compounds containing carbon as a primary element. In that case, combustion is the most common observation. And the second kind of chemical reactions possible for carbon compounds are oxidation. Oxidation can be defined in so many ways. Addition of oxygen is called oxidation. Removal of hydrogen is called oxidation. Removal of electrons is also called as oxidation. Increasing the oxidation state is called oxidation. In so many ways, we can give the definition for these oxidation reactions. Though combustion is generally oxidation, but all combustion reactions may not come under oxidation, or else all oxidations may not be considered as a combustion reaction. Oxidation simply defined as addition of oxygen or removal of electrons. These are the proper and most familiarly used chemical reactions in our day-to-day life. Right. So here you can clearly notice rusting of iron is the simplest example, because iron rod, it is a pure metallic compound added with oxygen in the presence of moisture that turned into iron oxide, iron hydroxide as well. This is a kind of system where initially iron is there, it is added with oxygen, so that loss of electrons is also possible during this kind of deterioration. Hence, we can say this is a kind of oxidation reaction where addition of oxygens, simultaneous removal of electrons are possible. Not only that, your chemical reactions pertaining oxidations are very versatile in the synthetic organic chemistry, where so many new kind of compounds are generated by oxidizing the active functional groups. In order to oxidize any chemical substance, it is required to add the oxidizing agents like potassium dichromate, potassium permanganate. These are regarded as a strong oxidizing agents in the organic chemistry. In addition to these, some other mild oxidizing agents also valuable, but these are the primary things. Jones oxidizing agent is there, and nitric acid is the simplest oxidizing agent, and so many other. Bromine is also, bromine water is also oxidizing agent. So in that way, lot many examples are there, but these are the major compounds used as oxidizing agent, being these are strong oxidizing agents. So your organic chemistry, most of the oxidation reactions are proceeded with these oxidizing agents. And we have a simplistic sample related with the oxidation with the potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate. Both are having resemblance properties here. In order to perform the reaction, we are taking ethanol, where hydroxy compound was taken initially, and oxidizing agent. What it will do? So oxidation can be classified in two ways: either addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. In this case, what we did, your hydrogens got removed, hence we can say it is a kind of oxidation. Initially, compound ethanol was taken, added with either potassium dichromate or potassium permanganate. Any of the compound will be added, so that here acetaldehyde will be generated by the removal of hydrogens. Hence, this is the oxidized product. But oxidation may not be ceased over here. It can be continued till the completion, because it is a partial oxidation. Later on, may another molecule of dichromate will be added, so that final completely oxidized product of carboxylic acid will be generated. Aldehyde is a partially oxidized, carboxylic acid is a completely oxidized product of starting material taken hydroxy. So here is the oxidizing agent, potassium dichromate or potassium permanganate. Initially hydroxy there, partially transformed into aldehyde, completely transformed into carboxylic acid by the process called oxidation. This is a simplest example, comes under the category of oxidation reactions. And the next is about addition reaction. This is the third category of carbon chemical properties. Addition is nothing but within the name itself, its meaning is laying. So adding of some other compound to these organic compounds is called addition. So in order to add, already some necessity should be there. The necessity will be that either double bond or triple bond within the compound. The compound containing either double or triple bonds are regarded as unsaturated compounds, and it will be added with any of the addition compound. Any of the addition, you may add hydrogen, you may add HBr, you may, any addition compound will be added, so that your added compound addition reaction get carried without any elimination, without any removal of the functional groups. This is a kind of addition reaction. During the addition reactions, double and triple bonded compounds finally transformed into single bonded compound called a saturated. Simply, unsaturated organic compounds by the addition reactions converted into saturated organic compounds. So addition of the reagent takes place to the double bond or triple bond, so that here final product of saturated compound will be generated. In order to explain this one, the simplest example is provided to us. I'm taking 4 carbon parental chain with a triple bond and added with hydrogen in the presence of Raney nickel. Raney nickel plays a vital role, being it is a transition metal, D block element, and it is very versatile for the hydrogenation. So here nickel works like a reducing agent, means it used to add the hydrogen. Here the term catalyst was used. What's the purpose of catalyst? Catalyst is the reagent, catalyst is the moiety which used to enhance the, fasten the rate of the reaction. If the reaction takes place for 10 days, by the addition of catalyst, within the 1 hour reaction get completed. So that's the purpose of catalyst, right? Teacher will become a catalyst in order to enhance the learning ability of the student. Here, nickel being it is a catalyst, your acceleration for the addition of hydrogen to the triple bond is possible, so that triple bond added with hydrogen on the either of the side, so that here carbon-carbon double bond is generated. This carbon-carbon double bond further added because it is not completed, reaction not completed, one more hydrogen molecule will be added in the presence of nickel catalyst, so that hydrogen to one carbon in either hydrogen to second carbon, it totally transformed into a saturated one. No double bond, no triple bond is present finally. Initially, we have triple bond. In a one step, it turned into a double bond. In any other step, it totally transformed into a single bond compound by the reaction called addition. So in order to pertain this reaction here, nickel catalyst is the suitable catalyst in order to fasten the rate of the reaction. Nickel is the catalyst. Catalyst is nothing but itself will not participate in the reaction, but used to increase the rate of the reaction. That is called a catalyst. And here, a catalyst is a substance which increases the rate of reaction without itself finally undergoing any chemical change. Itself will not participate. Itself will not transform into any product, but it used to accelerate the rate of reaction. It will boost the rate of the reaction is called a catalyst. So here, whenever catalyst is there, here graph of the reaction will be moving in a exponential way. So, and nickel catalyzed natural reactions also provided over here. This is the most important versatile reaction for the transformation of vegetable oil. So it is possible to convert oil into ghee by the addition of this nickel catalyst. How can we convert? So dalda, such vanaspati, those oils are manufactured in this kind of chemical transformations only. Vegetable oil was taken, added with hydrogen in the presence of nickel catalyst. Now it so vegetable oil initially composed of carbon-carbon double bond. So this carbon-carbon double bond, upon treating with hydrogen, these double bonded compounds will be transformed into a single bonded compounds. So whenever single bond is there, that will be regarded as a ghee. When double bonds are there, that is oily in nature. Oily is less viscous when compared to ghee. Right, so that is possible in the presence of nickel catalyst. It is the natural simplistic sample which we are applying in order to convert oil into such a kind of ghee type of materials. Ghee is a saturated one, oil is the unsaturated one. These reactions are commonly used in the hydrogenation of a vegetable oil using a nickel as a catalyst. Vegetable oil generally have a long range of hydrocarbons of unsaturated, and animal fats have the saturated. So in our daily life, we are regularly utilizing these vegetable oils like coconut oil, otherwise groundnut oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, so many type of oils. We are using in our daily life, but not any animal fat is used for daily cooking. The fact is, when animal oil was taken, animal oil is made up of saturated, vegetable oil is made up of unsaturated. When unsaturation is there, controlled combustion is possible, and this used to give the energy. But saturated is there, excess of combustion is required for this one, so that it is not that extent safe for the metabolic activities in the human body. That's the reason why always it is preferable to consume the vegetable oils rather than the animal oils in cooking purpose. So here is the question posed for us: why we are advised not to use animal fats for cooking? So I collected the answer from Brainly. Thank you very much for your valuable answer here. Animal fats are saturated. Just now we discussed animal fats are made up of only single bonded, and these are called saturated carbon chains. Hence, they require larger quantity of heat. So being it is a completely single bonded one, a large amount of heat is required for the complete combustion of this one. So it is not properly combusted. If oxygen is not sufficiently available, it is not properly combusted. So that the combustion process not completed, they get accumulated within the human organisms without transformation. As such, they get deposited as a fats. So that is not preferable. That will block the circulation of fluids in our body. So that here animal fats are not at all preferable. Rather, vegetable oils, being these are less viscous and fluidity will be there, mobility will be there. They are having ease of combustion. That's the reason why they are preferable for cooking purpose and healthy in nature. And which oil is recommended for cooking and why? So in accordance with the doctor's suggestions, olive oil is most preferable. In addition to all these, all vegetable oils, whichever available in the market, these are preferable over animal oils. So I collected this answer from eScores. Let us see what could be the reason in order to choose these vegetable oils as a edible oils or cooking oils. Let us see. Here, three reasons are provided to us. They do not require large quantity of heat for the combustion. So because vegetable oils are less viscous in nature, that's a reason why large amount of heat energy is not required to combust them. And secondly, it does not take long time for the cooking. So cooking time will not be prolonged. So it will not be elongated, and cooking will not become after entering into the human body, they may not accumulated as a fats, cholesterol, and they may not cause any harm to the human body. That's the reason why vegetable oils, light vegetable oils are preferable for cooking purpose. So this is the answer I collected from CBSE eScores. And this olive oil also having less fat content, that's the reason why it is also preferable. Now, fats and oils are both are fatty acids only, because fatty acid sense what? Fatty acid is nothing but long range of carbon will be there. A long range of carbon at the end center, they are having carboxylic acid. So those are long chain hydrocarbons with the end carboxylic acid, either double bonds or single bonds are present within the system. So all these are together known as a fatty acids. That may be animal oil, that may be vegetable oil, all are regarded as a fatty acids only. Right. So if all are saturated, you may say that is the animal fat. If unsaturation is also present in these fatty acids, those are regarded as oils only. So oils are generally liquids at room temperature due to the unsaturated fatty acids, but the fats are solids due to the saturated fatty acids. That's the main difference between these two. Being all are made up of either double or triple bonds in these fatty acids, oils are not possible to compact, not possible to get close to proximity. That's the reason why oils are having less viscosity when compared to the fats. Fats all are made up of saturated hydrocarbon. They get closer proximity and get solidified very easily. This is the reason why when these fats enters into our body, they get accumulated. Solids not really movable. That's why they get deposited, and they can obstacle the flowing tendency of fluids in our human body. So that here animal fats are not at all preferable for the cooking purpose. Rather, vegetable oils are most preferable, having more fluidity, less viscosity. Right. So any other kind of chemical reaction is denoted as a substitution reaction. Substitution is nothing but existing one replaced with any other is said to be a substitution reaction. It's the simplest example is provided. The reaction weight, atom or group of atoms get replaced by any other atom or group of atoms called a substitution reaction. When we are taking simplest hydrocarbon called methane, called marsh gas, and treated with chlorine and the presence of light. Here, light is passed over methane upon treating with chlorine. It is a photochemical reaction. Photochemical is nothing but which is initiated by the sun. So here, hydrogen when replaced with chlorine, what happens? Hydrogen is being removed and the chlorine get added over here. This is a kind of replacement called a substitution reaction. So here, whenever methane chlorination, the presence of light, here chloromethane will be obtained. This is a kind of substitution reaction. So many chemical reactions in the organic chemistry are the class of these substitution reactions, where we can easily replace already existing with a new one, so that new compound will be transformed and new properties will be associated with the compound, and that will be fetching in either pharmacy or industrial purpose or material chemistry as well, right? So here alkanes are nothing but all are saturated carbon hydrogen single bonds will be there. Those are said to be alkanes. And a general formula pertaining to alkanes will be CnH2n plus 2. And all the alkanes are saturated in nature. Hence, we can say these are least reactive. The reactivity, chemical reactivity of alkanes are extremely less. Hence, that's the reason why we can say these compounds also regarded synonymously known as paraffins. So because of least reactivity, Now let us see. Alkanes are the saturated hydrocarbons, chemically least reactive in nature. Because of its inert nature, they are regarded as a paraffin. Par means little, affinity means reactivity. So little reactivity, that's the reason why these are alternatively known as a paraffin. However, they undergo some chemical changes under suitable conditions, which are substitution reactions. Just now we observed this is a kind of paraffin only. Methane is a paraffin, but this is a kind of substitution reactions are familiar. Though these are inert in nature, but under certain circumstances, they will participate in the substitution reactions. And these are the kind of series of reactions possible with methane. Methane will not stop at chloromethane formation, because carbon is surrounded with 4 hydrogens. Whenever chlorine is added, monochlorination is not at all sufficient. It will be propagated further and treated with one more chlorine gas, so that it turned into a dichloromethane, and further reaction with chlorine, trichloromethane called a chloroform, and further chlorination, one more hydrogen also gets substituted with the chlorine. So here carbon tetrachloride, that is a better organic solvent, will be obtained. These are the series of reactions. Simply we are replacing hydrogen with the chlorine, so that here monochloro, dichloro, trichloro, finally tetrachloromethane will be obtained. This is a kind of simplest substitution reaction, and where a light will take the initiation for this kind of reaction. So here chemical properties of some of the compounds were discussed exclusively. Here reactions of combustion, reactions of oxidation, reactions of substitution, and one more reactions we already discussed. This is a kind of system called oxidation, right? So here combustion, oxidation, substitution reactions are most commonly available in case of organic compounds. Combustion, oxidation, addition, and substitution reactions are most familiar kind of reactions. We gone through all these in detail with the suitable examples. I hope this session will be helpful for your preparation. And though here carbon compounds are available in the much more quantity, but basic type of reactions are these 4 categories only. And whatever the chemical reaction, we can categorize into these 4 types only. So here, this kind of explanation will helpful for your preparation. Thank you very much for your consistent listening. Thank you one and all.